Hi everyone, it's Sunday, June 19th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So we're going to start once again with Europe because the market downtrend there is not over. Editor Andrea Guolo says that some origins lost ground during the week, and there is also strong pressure on bulls that have no orders from the automotive sector. In the UK, prices were stable, but then sales were not plentiful. In England, the price is 76 to 82 cents per kilo in sterling for the 36 plus selection. And meanwhile, in Ireland, sales were made between 80 and 85 cents in euros per kilo. Unfortunately, European bulls did not improve their situation last week, and there is the odd setup of low production along with excess supply, and that's all due to the lack of business for automotive purposes. For southern Germany, there's talk of large price differences between individual lots, and some are still managing to sell at around €1 and 45 cents per kilo, but others have already been selling in Northern Europe at €1 and 30 cents per kilo. For European cows, the situation is still tough with higher quality well paid for, while lower quality has no market in Europe. In the veal sector, seller positions are still strong and production is spoken for. And meanwhile, for sheep, it's a good time for leather garments, and there's strong demand for raw materials of Mediterranean origin from the luxury brands. In his analysis, Andrea talks about who's buying and what, along with who's not buying and why. He also looks ahead to what needs to happen between now and September for a more balanced situation. Turning to the U.S., prices again managed to eke out a few increases, and most are calling the market slightly firmer. Heavy Texas steers are at $25 for the 64 pound selection. And the cow sector saw good interest this week, and while it was hard to get increases, some prices were a little higher. Looking at the export totals, most everybody was pretty surprised at the big numbers. Combined export sales for the week ending June 9th were 749,000, and that's a 56% increase over the previous week. Combined shipments were also higher by 37% at 694,500. Slaughter for the week was down just 1%, still quite high at 667,000. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports that raw material prices slipped only 3 cents after last week's big drop, and the average price is now $2 and 31 cents per kilo. The reference price of TR1 edged lower by just 1 cent this week at 82 cents per square foot, and that's in dollars. In other news from Brazil, the country's exports of hides and skins in May dropped by 8.5% in value compared to the same month last year, but they were 1.6% higher than the April total. However, the total exported in square meters was 26% lower than in May 2021 and almost 5% less than in April. In fact, the first 5 months of the year saw export value decrease by 1.6% compared to the same period in 2021 and by almost 22% in area. But if you look at footwear exports from Brazil, they were 66% higher through May. From elsewhere in Latin America, May cattle slaughter grew by 10% in Argentina, and that has a high percentage of females in the slaughter total. And in Colombia, cattle slaughter was down 12% in the first quarter. So that's all we have for this week. So until next week, good night from HideNet.